Okie dokie. And we should be live now. So I had to mess with the cord. There was an issue with the camera. Even though I used it last week, I had to charge it 100%. I plugged it in, and for whatever reason, the cables were not working like they were supposed to. But either way, we're here now. So to all of you who are here now, happy Sunday for the regular Sunday night live stream. So thanks a lot for taking the time to come and hang out tonight, and hopefully we'll have some good things to talk about. And yeah, so we've got Davey the Bob. Thanks for being here tonight. And also see there's a couple other people that are showing up as well. So I'll wait a couple minutes before I get into talking about anything too important, just so people can work their way in here. And hopefully you all had a good week. And yeah, I was able to eat dinner before the live stream tonight, so there's no worry about that there. Last week I missed out on dinner that my wife made. So tonight I actually I had some KFC, which I haven't had in forever, and normally I don't eat there. But I got their wings. And if you've had their wings before and you like them, I'm probably going to offend you. But if you haven't had them, they were not very good. And I will say the sauce is actually pretty good, but the wings themselves is like 15% chicken and like 85% batter. So it wasn't a very good experience. I will not be ordering those ever again. But yeah, so a couple people in here. Christian Geraldo, hey, thanks for being here. Mitchell Davidson, and Jun Bakay, hey, thanks for being here tonight. So yeah, a couple of things I want to talk about tonight. Testing out quite a few phones right now, and I think this is probably the most saturated that I've ever been when it comes to actually a bunch of phones. I got quite a bit of them, so I'm going to talk about some of those tonight because I've got some pending reviews that are going to be coming out over the course of this week, so that'll be fun. Dominic, hey, thanks for being here. Ishan Simpson, when will we get the new BlackBerry? As far as the new BlackBerry, there's still not been a date announced. Still sticking with the original first half of 2021, which we're getting into the first half. We're getting into the end of the first half of the first half of 2021 already, which is just crazy because it seems like just yesterday it was 2020, and now tomorrow, at least here in the United States, is March 1st. And then down there, our good friend Hamazan Mohammed, it's Monday where he's at already in Malaysia. So yeah, we're quickly moving along into 2021 and lots of stuff going on. So yeah, I mean, June is getting here really, really fast. So these guys need to hurry up and get the phone ready. There's a lot of people asking questions about it. I mean, I've got questions myself. Mitchell Davidson, new update for LG users. I don't know if there's any new LG news. I haven't seen any. Let me type in Google here real quick. I haven't seen anything pop up. I can say, though, that the LG V60 did get Android 11. I don't know if it's a complete rollout, but it seems like 2 U.S. carriers have it. I believe Verizon's has it, and the other one is Magenta. So I think, unlike Magenta, Big Red is... Yeah, so Verizon's there, and I think T-Mobile is the other one. But if you got a V60, then go ahead and make sure you get upgraded to Android 11. And I think that's a really good sign. That's probably one of the fastest I think that LG's got a new operating system out on their phone. So I'm glad to see that they're committed at least to the V60. That tells me that they haven't abandoned that yet. So we'll see what happens moving forward. But yeah, I'm glad to see that they got that out there. So that's pretty cool. As far as the rest of LG, I think things are still kind of in limbo right now. So hopefully we'll hear something in the next couple of months. Really and truly, I thought they had said that the rollable was supposed to be out towards or by the end of March. So I'm curious to see if this LG rollable still happens, because they said that they were still committed to bringing it to market. I wonder how marketable how much bring to the market that means. But I hope that it is a full-scale rollout and people are able to get it. And I hope that I can get my hands on one. With the exclusivity of it, and I'm sure the price point and the availability, I'm going to say that I probably won't be able to get my hands on one. But maybe at some point I will. I did just get my hands on this right here, the LG Wing, which I've been playing with for like the last week. And I got to say, I've actually been enjoying it a lot more than I thought I was going to. It's a pretty neat phone. I will say that I don't actually use the top screen all that much, but there are some instances where it's pretty neat. But that's just because I don't watch a lot of video. If I watch a lot of video, I would use it a lot more. Let me see. Arby's gyros are the way to go. I'm not a big fan of those, but I'll have to give it a whirl sometime. And Arby's is actually pretty stinking expensive. Like, I've got an actual Greek restaurant about the same distance from me as Arby's, so I'll probably go there. Big John, how am I liking the S21 Ultra? I absolutely love the S21 Ultra. A lot better than I thought I was going to. And the thing that I really don't care for is the battery life has just not been good to me. I made a video about it. I know that some people are getting good battery life. And of course, here's the thing with battery life. It's, everybody's mileage will vary to an extent. If there is a flaw there will be a fundamental comparison across the board to where people will be seeing diminished battery life. But there are people that are still getting good battery life. But if you use it on 720p, you're going to get great battery life. If you use it on 1080p, you're going to get good battery life. If you use it on Quad HD Plus, as you go up and down, it's like a moving scale. Like, the more you have turned on and the more you have turned off is going to impact how long your phone is going to last, how much screen on time you're going to get. It does seem to have really good standby time. It's just the active screen on time depending on what you're doing. Because I actually did a time-lapse video. Hour-and-a-half video only took like 10 minutes off of the 10% off the battery life. So, I mean, that it really depends on what you're doing is what's going to kill it the fastest. But other than that, I actually really love the phone. I like it so much that my Fold 2 has just like been sitting on the countertop, not getting used. And I feel bad about that because I really kind of do like my Fold 2 now. But the typing experience, the big screen, I've just really been enjoying the S21 Ultra. It's a really good phone. So if you're on the fence about it, if you're confused about the performance and all that other stuff and want to get some more information on it or just concerned generally, hopefully you have good battery life, but that's pretty much the only day-to-day concern that I have. If you care about expandable storage, if you care about the MST payment method, if you care about the storage size, I mean, there are certain things that we could talk about that are more problematic than others, but from a pure usage standpoint, it may be the best phone they've ever made. I really like it. Let me see. Julian Munoz, I have an off-topic question. Do you recommend the Soundcore Q3s? Do you mean the Q30s? Because I don't know about the Q3s, but if you're talking Q30s, and I'll get confirmation when you reply, they're fantastic. Whatever happened to BlackBerry 10 didn't version of it end up as an automobile OS? So here's the thing. BlackBerry 10 is based off of QNX. QNX is a software that BlackBerry acquired a long time ago and that their operating system is based off of. So, I mean, fundamentally, the same underlying software is what's powering some of the vehicle operating systems, but it's completely different night and day difference than what you get with BlackBerry 10. And BlackBerry 10, well, what happened with it is basically just kind of getting retired and phased out, and it'll be end of life, no longer supported, January of 2022. So we've got less than a year left on that. It's weird still getting used to it. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah, battery. That's the thing with battery. Could be good, could be bad, just depending on your usage and see how well things go. Waiting on the BlackBerry if not getting the Mi 11. So I want to talk about the Mi 11 some tonight because I like this phone a lot. There are a couple of things that I like that the Samsung phone does better, I think. And it's not so much better from a hardware perspective. It's just because of the user interface. So, rocking MIUI 12 on here, I actually prefer One UI as opposed to MIUI, and there are just some different nuances and subtleties to how the skin for Android works on it. So if you don't mind MIUI, and MIUI 12 it's the best version that they've got so far. Like, it's been really good. I've been really impressed with how well that it works because I've tried out MIUI 10, MIUI 11, and I really didn't like those. I just upfront did not like them. But MIUI 12, I like quite a bit. Again, like I said, there's some things I don't like about it as much. I gotta say though, if you like typing, the typing experience on the S21 Ultra and the haptic feedback is just like next level. Like it's so good. It's such a nice typing experience. So, and that's mostly what I do on my phone. I mean, other than a physical keyboard, the next best thing to me right now is the S21 Ultra. But the phone itself is very, very good. Very powerful. I like the cameras, I like the video capabilities. the microphones, the stereo speakers. It's a great alternative to the S21 Ultra if you want to get something else. And of course, yeah, I mean, it does cost a little bit less too. So there's some stuff that goes along with that. But the the Mi 11 is a very good phone. I've tested out a couple other Xiaomi phones here in the past and previously. The Poco X3 NFC, and then of course the Poco M3, and then also the Mi 10T Pro 5G, and now this one. They've come a long way. I was really impressed with the Xiaomi Mi 9T whenever I bought it, I guess a year and a half ago, and tested it out myself. And that was like my first real experience with Xiaomi phones, and they've come a long way over the years, especially in the last year and a half. I think they're really trying to broaden their horizons as far as their commercial appeal, and as far as, you know, into the States, and making the user experience better, making the operating experience better, and just better, more streamlined flagship hardware. So they're doing some good things. Is Note 20 still good? Yeah, the Note 20 is still good. I mean, I'm not a big fan personally of the actual Note 20, but the Note 20 Ultra, very, very good phone. I just sold mine about a week ago, just because I have so many other phones and I wasn't using it, so there was no point in like leaving it here on my dresser not getting used. So were it not for that though, I would still be using it. Had the S21 Ultra not come out, I would still have my Note 20 Ultra. It's perfectly good. So if you've got one, definitely don't feel the FOMO to go out there and buy a new phone, unless you just absolutely have the money and it's just burning at you on the inside to go get the new phone. Then I mean, sure, but you definitely don't need it. The Note 20 Ultra is very, very good. Note 20 is fine too. Asked, what's the LTE and 5G band support on the Xiaomi Mi 11 if used on T-Mobile? So on T-Mobile, I'm not getting 5G. I'm getting LTE. So if you want to look at the specific bands, go to GSM Arena, and you can just type it in on Google, and you can look at the bands there. And actually, I'll go ahead and pull it up. And hey, Digital Slang, thanks for being here tonight. Good to see you, as always. So I'll go ahead and take this. Oh, wrong button. We'll go ahead and talk about this together. So you can go, anytime you want to look up the specs and the frequencies and all this stuff, you can go to GSM Arena. Just go to Google and type that in with the phone, and we'll pull this up. So when it comes to the network, you can click on and expand. So it doesn't have band 71, so it's missing that. But when it comes to the 5G stuff, I don't know which ones that it'll actually support. If it does support any in the US, but I can tell you that I'm using it right now and it doesn't work 5G on T-Mobile. So at least not in my area, but I'm assuming it doesn't work on T-Mobile, period. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I had heard, I think maybe it might be AT&T. I had heard somebody was getting 5G on it, so that could be possible. But as far as things are right now, at least where I'm at, I don't have it. Junk Food Junction, hey man, thanks for being here tonight. Where is the Onward phone? So the Onward Mobility phone, there's still no update on it. And as soon as there is an update, you'll get a video. I won't make a video, but as of right now, I don't have any new information. I did talk to them about a week ago, but there's nothing new right now. Like, I reached out to them and I was like, hey, if there's anything new, any stuff you can tell me, and they're like, no, we don't have anything right now, just stay tuned. If you go off the last press release that they did, which was an interview with the Nikkei news outlet that of course went to all over to other different news outlets, they're working on their distribution plan right now. So my guess is the phone is probably pretty much done. It's just a matter of, testing it, getting FCC approval, which will be the next big hurdle. Like, whenever we see it pass through the FCC, then that'll tell you that launch is pretty much imminent. But that has not happened yet. So that's usually, once that happens, it's usually kind of around like maybe about a month before we start to see a rollout of a device, or at least a launch. But as of right now, no, there's nothing new. and I'm still looking forward to it just as much as everybody else. So I mean, if I had any information that, well, one, I have no information. Like I have no information right now. But if I did, I would be super excited about it and would totally tell y'all anything that I could as soon as I could. But yeah, so still waiting. I'm hoping it gets here soon. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is the LG Wing. So I've actually really been enjoying using this, and I just put out a video, I want to say day before yesterday, and I've had a lot of opportunity to go ahead and use this, test it out. I did shoot some video with it today. And one thing I got to tell you, I really like this gimbal feature that it has on here. So let me go ahead and open this. Maybe. You know, I don't know what the deal is. At first, it was like the fingerprint sensor was working really well, even whenever it was like up here. But now it doesn't seem to be working as well when it's up there. I don't know why. But yeah, so whenever you flip the screen up like this, and you get the little graphic interface here when you click on camera, this is something that's actually really, really cool. And you can see back there, wait, maybe you can. I've got a stack of the Soundcore Q30s that I still need to do a giveaway with. So I hopefully will be able to roll that out this week. I've just been so busy with everything. So you can use this little digital joystick here, and it's cool. Here, let me put this over here where you can see better. So you can actually use this little joystick and move it around because of the crop on the video and the camera itself. It's pretty neat, and it's even got like follow me mode and all that other stuff. So it's something that's really cool. And oh, here also the dual recording feature is also really nice because it brings the pop-up camera up, and you can see on the camera here. So you've got it's got the front-facing selfie camera on the right. It's got the primary camera on the back on the left-hand side, and it splits it so that you can use it that way. So I gotta say, I've been really impressed with what LG has been able to do with this phone. Like they did a really good job. And I had some criticism and some thoughts at first, which I was trying not to be too harsh on it, not having my hands on it. Do I still think it's worth $1,000? No, I don't really think it's worth $999. If you really want it, it's totally fine. Go out and buy it. You can likely get a good carrier deal, but because they have dropped the price so many times already, then that's one of those things that's like tells me that one, the price will permanently drop probably in the near future, and you don't want to be stuck holding the bag having paid so much for it. And two, there's just been a lot of opportunities to get it cheaper. So, you know, I wouldn't pay $1,000 for it. But if you can get it for like $500, $600, maybe even $700, I think it's a good deal. The only thing that I have issue-wise, I've been getting these little micro scratches on the screen over here, and it follows this little horizontal, like this little curve, like this, like whenever the screen is coming down. And the screen, it actually, I don't know if maybe it's caught something on there or what. Actually, yeah. So you can see the friction mark. There's like right here on this edge on the back side. I don't know if maybe there's something wrong with my screen, but every time, I guess when I'm pushing it closed, it's putting these really light, tiny scratches on the surface of the screen over here on the bottom right. And I just noticed it yesterday. They're not to the level where you can't even see it when the screen is on. But when I look at it, and you look at it from an angle, especially whenever I clean mine with the lens wipes all the time, it's something that I've noticed. So I don't know if other people are experiencing that. And I think what it is, because the screen does float just lightly above it, and I think what's happening is whenever I'm pushing right here to open it, I think it's putting just enough downward force right here on this edge where it's making contact with the screen, and I think that's what's causing the little scratches. So I'm curious to see if anyone else is having that same problem. I reached out to one person. I'm waiting to find out, but I don't like that. I'm very, very irked by that. Let's see what we got here. I would love to beta test the new Onward Mobility BlackBerry. Yes, me too. I would totally love to be able to beta test the phone. Sonam Topigal, big BlackBerry fan. I want BlackBerry to succeed. Yes, totally. I absolutely want them to succeed too. I think a lot of people do. Since the iPhone is my primary phone, I'm thinking of purchasing a Fold 2, or should I wait another brand foldable coming out this year? So, it depends. I've been seeing a lot of rumor stuff, and we've heard about this for a while. It looks like there's probably going to be a Pixel folding phone. And I'm curious what direction they're going to go with that. Like, I know that diehard Pixel people will really care about it. Me as just a phone nerd, I'm really excited about it. So there's that, but I wonder how well it's going to sell, and also I wonder what they're going to put in it, because if you look at what they did with the Pixel 5 with the Snapdragon 765 and kind of like mid-tier stuff going on it, I don't know. Like, are they going to go the mid-tier approach and just make something that works, or are they going to go all out and then we're going to have like a $1,400 Pixel phone here? Is it going to have a hinge? Is it going to have a folding screen? I don't really know what's going on with it. I've just seen some of the like preliminary rumor stuff, and I'm curious, and I'm on Team Pixel, so I hope that I will get one if this does come to fruition. But we'll see. So there's that's out there. Here's my thing. Like right now, there's some really good specials going on when it comes to the Fold 2. You can get them with that 100-day test out thing with Samsung if you buy one straight from them. So that gives you basically over 3 months that you can test the phone out and see if you like it. That's really cool. And I'm not going to say like buy it and test it for 2 months and then send it back. But what that tells me is that they're probably trying to move as many of these as possible. And the best way to move them is to get them in people's pockets. If you get a phone in someone's pocket and give them 3 months, they're probably not going to return it. They'll probably like it at that point, or they will return it within the couple week time period anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So I would say maybe try that out. And because here's the thing, the Fold 3 is going to be coming out probably by this summer. That's just my guess. I don't think they're going to wait until the fall for the the Fold 3 to come out, and it's going to have S Pen support. So if you want a Fold that has S Pen support, I would wait for the Fold 3. If you just really want the Fold 2 is very good. I like it a lot, and you can get some good deals on it. And those deals will probably still get better up until the new one comes out, and then it will probably drop quite a bit. So that's just my 2 cents on the matter. You could wait. If you really want S Pen support, get the Fold 3, but maybe take advantage of this deal right now if you just want to get your foot in the door with the Fold. Haven't heard very much about the Wing. Yeah, so here's the thing with the Wing. It actually came out like 6 months ago, and there were a handful of reviewers that got it. Something happened with the rest of the shipment, and I don't know how it got tied up, but the rest of us didn't get them until like 2 weeks ago. So that's one of those things where you're not going to get a lot of exposure on it now because there's not a lot of people out there watching it. You're not going to have a lot of videos like you did when they first came out. And then when they first came out, I don't really feel like they were covered all that well. So it's just one of those things where LG just couldn't get the stuff out in time. So I don't know, but I do like it. If you get one, though, I would definitely get a film-style screen protector and put on that bottom screen. Brand new PS4 for USD. I'm not sure what you mean there. Maybe. I mean, it looks like those are good prices. Does the LG screen have a similar mechanism to the Priv? Sounds similar. I actually was thinking about this earlier when I was playing around with the phone. It does kind of have a feel like that. It reminds me a lot of it. The way that the phone sets on top of it. Of course, this rotates out to the side as opposed to sliding up. It sounds very similar, and it also feels very similar too. So that's one of those things where, yeah, if you've used the Priv before, it kind of is, kind of reminds you of that a little bit. And Ram Emanuel, thank you very much for the super chat. I very much appreciate that. So thank you. And also, of course, we've got 25 people in here right now. We've got 7 likes. So if you've got time and you're having a good time here, hit the like button while you're here. And always feel free to subscribe if you want to get updates on the latest and greatest, because I put out weekly videos. I put out almost daily videos. If you're here and don't know that, but I put out a lot of videos, and I got a lot for this week. A lot of exciting things, and I've actually got a phone that I can't talk about right now, but you'll hear more about that later on this week. So that'll be exciting. Never worked with this brand before, so I'm pretty excited, but I can't say anything about it. I really love my LG G7. Yeah, the G7 was great. I said the LG G7 was my best phone was the best phone of 2018. My phone of the year for 2018 was the LG G7. the Pixel 4 XL for the 2019, and then last year I picked the OnePlus 8T. But the LG G7, fantastic phone, and it still works great. It's got a Snapdragon 845 in it. I do believe it got Android 10. It was their first phone. They put that dedicated Google Assistant button over on the side, and overall, I mean, it was a good phone. I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a great job with it. Team Pixel loves you, man. I don't know how much they love me. I hope they do. I very much love the phones. I love to cover them. So, I mean, I'm glad I was able to make it on Team Pixel. Tom C., what is your opinion of the longevity of the screen on the Fold 2? I think that it's fine, but here's the thing you got to remember is it's a plastic screen. So, it's going to last, and it should last for a couple of years. It just matters how well you take care of it. So, if you don't take care of it well, then it's not going to last very long at all because I don't want to give the impression that it's fragile because I don't really feel that it is. I think for a plastic screen, I think it works well for what it does. Like, I don't have any concerns about it using it on a day-to-day basis. Like, I'm really not worried about it. So as far as if you take care of it, and of course it's on the inside, so when you close it up, it's mostly protected. As long as you don't do anything to critically damage it, like don't jab it real hard with your fingernail, don't dig into it, don't do anything that's going to damage it. But as long as you just use it as it's intended to on a day-to-day basis, you're going to be golden. It's built well. And I had the original Samsung Galaxy Fold. They made so many improvements from the Fold to the Fold 2. So if you're looking to get one, I mean, it is second generation hardware. I have a lot more confidence in it than I had in the first one. And overall, I think it's a really good phone. The only thing is if you watch my video where I talked about how I wish I didn't buy it, that was mostly because I don't open up the screen and use it all the time. I'm constantly on the move. I'm constantly doing things. So I use it mostly on the front screen, and then I get frustrated because the screen is so small. I much rather have more real estate on the front all the time as opposed to opening, closing. It does work well, and if you're going to use it opened up very often and use the interior screen as the primary screen and not the front one, I think you're going to be much better off. I think you're going to get a much better experience out of it. So, yeah, I think that is fine. With the LG Wing and the Fold 2, it's unclear which direction the phone market is going in. Well, the market doesn't have a direction right now. Like right now, they're trying to establish trends. They're trying to find what works. And this reminds me a lot of like 2006, 2007. There were a lot of different form factors back then. Of course, they were smaller. They had LCD screens. They had buttons all over them. And then, BlackBerry was kind of leading in that charge to try and find the ideal smartphone form factor. Because the biggest issue with phones back then was trying to find the best way to interact with them. It was trying to find the best way to input information into them, and also to make them powerful enough to use. So if you remember a lot of those older day phones, they were very clunky. It was here, press this button 3 times, press this button 2 times, press this button like to try and get the letters. Or they had different operating systems. They had different touchscreen technology. So as these things have developed over the years, we kind of have settled in on this iPhone or Android slab type of phone because it's the easiest for us to use. You hold it in one hand, you have the display, the operating systems have gotten better, they're more mature, the hardware that supports them has come like light years from where it used to be. So the thing is, they're trying to find the best way to do this. And also the technology has to mature as well. The screens have to get stronger, and they are because, we're going to have the S Pen support on the Fold 3. So they're finding ways to refine these things. They're making better hinges. They're making better panels. They're getting more wide availability with different manufacturers making panels. And they're coming up with different ways to interact with them, like the Z Flip that just opens up, the Fold that opens up, the Wing that slides out to the side. Even with the new BlackBerry coming out, I think that even qualifies as a novel form factor now, because it's such a divergence from this, and there just really isn't a lot out on the market right now. So finding the best way to get people to be able to use the phone, and then moving from there. Like once they finally nail down, and I think we're going to see a couple different types of concepts, because there's a lot of people that really like this concept. They like the regular flip because when you open it, it's just like your normal phone, and then you close it and it's compact, and then you have less of a footprint. I think this is a working design, and then how they do the hinge, how they implement it is going to vary from manufacturer to manufacturer, but I think this is I think we're going to be stuck with this design moving forward. And then we have the Fold. Well, the Fold gives you two different levels of functionality. You get normal phone right here, and then you open it up, and then you get this on the inside. So it's like carrying a tablet in your pocket. I think this works. What do they need to do? Well, they need to find a way to make the hinge work better. They need to make it waterproof. They need to find ways to reinforce the screen to make it better. And, it's funny. I'm sitting here talking about the phone, and, apparently I just noticed there's a red line that goes all the way across my screen here. So it looks like I've got a dead pixel line in my phone. This wasn't here yesterday. So now I got to deal with Samsung to get them to fix my phone because clearly it went off. Okay, maybe it was just software. There was just this little red line going all the way across. So as I'm sitting here talking about how good these work long term and stuff, it's gone now. Well, I'm going to keep my eyes on that. But yeah, so they've got this. And then, you've got something like this, which gives you the ability to do all your crazy browsing, plus they incorporate the camera stuff. So, I mean, this could be LG's thing. And then if they were to put, like, flagship level specs in this and make another one, I would totally use it on a day-to-day basis. Like, I like this phone a lot. It's definitely Gen 1, but they could totally work some things out towards Gen 2 and make it even better. So I like that. And using Gboard on here, types like a dream. It's really good. So, and then you've got something like this. So I'm curious to see what Onward Mobility brings to the market, because now this is different. Like, this right here gives you something that this doesn't. And for the longest time, when you had this, people looked at this as taking away from the experience, but the way that I look at it is I see this gives you a different experience. So if you look at this and see it as a productivity device, see it as a great way to type and interact with your phone, you see it as a way to multitask because you have all the shortcut and the hotkeys and the convenience key. Like, this is a really great piece of hardware for productivity and for typing. And if you do a lot of typing and you care about accuracy, you care about precision, you care about not having to deal with retyping something 3 times just to do a hashtag on Instagram, there is a lot of value to this right here. So, I don't think that the market is going to settle on one way like they did in the past with the current slab configuration that we have now. But I think that there will be multiple different things. And what I can more likely see is I think it may be more brand specific. Like, I think there's going to be some bleed over. Like, you look at the Razr with Motorola. It very much does work the same way as the Z Flip, but they're very distinct. They have different hinges, they have different screens, they have different specs, they have different features that they bring to the table, and it looks like the Z Flip 2 or 3, whatever they're going to call it, is largely going to emulate the Razr with having a interactive front screen on it to some extent. So I think that you're going to finally, you'll see some little nuanced differences there, but I think there's going to be multiple form factors moving forward. And a lot of it, of course, is stuff that they're testing out too, because you look at the LG rollable, you look at TCL, they're supposed to have a rollable. This whole rollable thing, it could work, it could not. Like, I don't think that it's for me. If I can get my hands on them and test them out, of course I will, because I love new tech. But I don't know. But I don't want to say I don't want it, because I haven't used it yet. There may be some very good use cases for it. Unbox Warehouse. Hey, thanks for being here tonight, buddy. I appreciate you stopping by. So yeah, I went on a long tangent with that, but hopefully that was helpful. M51 or K20 Pro. I'm not the K20 Pro. You talk about the Redmi K20 Pro that's like 2 years old now, Samuel. I'll look down below, but just tell me if that's what you're talking about. Yeah, so CH Gadgets, that makes it very exciting. Like, unfortunately, it costs money. Like, all these new things cost a lot of money to buy. Like, I like what they're doing, but I said this for years. Like, price was the limiting factor on us getting new stuff. And for the last couple of years, there was a lot of phones that they just felt like just generational refreshes. Like, there was no real reason to go out and buy them. And they just weren't that innovative. But once they got to that $1,000 threshold, it's like, all right, we got everything in the kitchen sink in these phones now. And then going over that $1,000 hurdle, like we're getting some really interesting stuff that, we're getting some really interesting stuff. But yeah, you got to pay for it. So hold on, my mom's trying to call me real quick, so I'm going to text her and make sure it's not an emergency because she's tried calling like 3 different phones. So let me do that real quick. So yeah, so it's very interesting. I like where they're headed with it, but right now we got to pay to play, and eventually it will come down in cost. And that's how this stuff works. We get these new things, we get these new features, and they start off clunky, they start off expensive, they start off in the flagship phones, and then like they start getting cheaper the next year, and then or they stay about the same price, but the tech will get better, and then it will start working its way out to other manufacturers and other phones. And then that kind of trickles its way down for a few years, and then it's like, all right, what's the next big thing? So we're kind of starting to reach like the sophomore level with some of these devices now, and that's where we're getting some of these lower ones. Like TCL is getting some of these cool form factors. They're not really a flagship level manufacturer. And then we've got like Pixel talking about making new ones, making a foldable phone. So I think what we're going to see towards the end of this year is like, first it was Samsung and then a couple others, and then like now with these new ones, it's going to be like a lot of different phones are going to have some of these cool features. And hopefully that drives down price, because competition always drives down price. Tom C, any news on the Surface Duo 2? No, I have not heard anything about it. And I'm really I'm concerned because I love the concept of the Duo, and I really didn't want to send mine back. I just had too many question marks out there about the hardware. Like, I really wanted to hang on to it, but one, the hardware was dated. Like, I didn't feel like it was worth the money, and then two, it just had too many issues and it was too buggy. Like, I understand that we're 5 months into it now, and they've largely got the software experience locked down from what I'm hearing. And you can get them for $9.99 now. If that's something you really want, then go for it. I don't want to tell people don't buy something because you want it. I think it's definitely a better experience probably now than it was 5 months ago. 5 months ago at $1,400, I basically recommended like nobody buy it. But I did enjoy it, and I think that it can work. And I really hope that they stick with it, because I think the next iteration could be really good. But there's also a longer development cycle with Microsoft. Like, they're not the fastest when it comes to getting this stuff done. If you look at it, they announced it around, I think, November of 2019. They said it was going to come out winter of 2020, which largely, yes, it did. They actually got it out a little bit early, which was surprising that they pushed it early. But I think they pushed it early for a reason, because of trying to compete, because I think they knew that if they waited longer, just like nobody was going to buy it. But it had problems, and I felt kind of betrayed by them that they pushed it out not being a complete product. Like, it wasn't ready. So that left a bad taste in my mouth. It was overpriced, and it wasn't largely received well. So moving forward, I'm really hopeful for the Duo 2, but when you look at it, that phone had already been in development for a while. Then they announced it, so it seems like it's taking them probably closer to a year and a half, maybe longer, to get one of these things out. The last one came out less than a year ago. My expectation would be, if they're going to have a Duo 2, I think we'll probably see it around fall to early winter, if we're going to see one. And I hope they do, because likely I'll buy it. I hope they get the kinks worked out of it. Tried to use one of those dead pixel fixing apps, didn't work. What are we talking about? I missed it, CH Gadget. Which one? Maybe keyboard would be necessary. I like the red one the best. Let me see. Yeah, red one was nice. Do you think the future phones will incorporate crypto wallet hardware? I don't know. And if you remember correct, or if you saw it, HTC actually had a crypto phone. I don't know how well it functioned as a crypto phone. It really wasn't powerful enough to do a whole lot of anything, and I had a lot of concerns about it anyway. But I think they even made a second generation one. I think that moving forward, there will probably need to be some sort of integration, but it also depends on what kind of wallet you use. Like wallets have changed. There was the paper wallets. Like I've still got a paper wallet that has like a little bit of crypto in it, but it used to be kind of a pain in the rear end to get these crypto wallets set up, and then some of them are not even universal. So like me, I've got Stellar Lumens, but it won't go into my regular crypto wallet for my Bitcoin. So I have to have a separate wallet. Fortunately, I use a app that's called Uphold, and I exchange crypto that way, but I also have Robinhood. And you can get a lot of crypto a lot of different ways now. But, back in the day when I was doing this in like 2016, 2017, it was a lot harder back then. So this is something that's becoming more adopted mainstream. It's something that, what is it? What's the term that they use? Basically the market and institutions. That's what it is. Institutions are getting invested in crypto now. And for the longest time, everybody was downplaying crypto. Most of the institutions were saying it's not reliable, it's too easy to manipulate, all these different things that they were saying. And now they're getting on board. And they probably just did that to keep the price low so they could buy as much as possible. Because, the people behind money are always trying to make money before you do. That's just how it works. Like, by the time you've heard about it, everybody else has already made their riches off of it. So, yes, you will still make money moving forward on this stuff. Do I think that Cardano? Do I think that Stellar Lumens? Do I think that all these different... Do I think Doge, or Doge, however they pronounce it, are going to be worth $1,000 a coin? No, I don't think so. But they need to find a universal way to transfer this stuff. And of course, that's one of the benefits to having these different types of cryptos is how easy they are to convert, how easy they are to use. And that's what makes currency great. How easily transferable is it to move one thing of value to another thing of value? So that's kind of the race right now, is to find out what that standard is going to be. But then how easy is it to... There's other things on the back end, like how easy is it to mine? If you look at Bitcoin, the price will continue to go up because demand is there and there's a finite amount of Bitcoin that they can make. Whereas Dogecoin, they infuse more money all the time. It's a continually growing currency. So the more you keep making, it keeps the value from going up. So I don't know. I didn't mean to talk about crypto that much. But when you look at it, I don't think that there's a universal standard unless they were like, okay, this is the Bitcoin phone. But what value do you get out of that? Because you can use Bitcoin. Bitcoin is mostly associated with apps now, whether you use Coinbase, whether you use Robinhood, whether you use Webull. I mean, there's so many different markets that you can use for this stuff that you don't really need to have it tied into a piece of hardware. And then I don't think somebody at an investment level that's talking about having $1 million of Bitcoin is worried about tying it to their phone. They just want to be able to use an iPhone or whatever. So if they do come out with one, I think it's probably just going to be like a niche, like novelty type thing. But then also, would you trust it? Like, who's this phone going to come from, Walkus Neighbors. Hey, man, thanks for being here tonight. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Let me see. Raw Manual, there's a retroism these days. You think fascists will return? Fascist, what is that? I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You'll have to elaborate on that some. Watching on the Duo. Hey, Ed, thanks for being here tonight. Hopefully everything's going well up in your neighborhood. Drew Victor, you're one of the reasons I bought the OnePlus 8T, loving it, typing this. Yeah, I totally love the 8T. The 8T, I think, like pound for pound, like dollar for dollar, performance-wise, best phone of 2020 for me. It's just such a good phone. Now, I had to make a separate phone video called My Favorite Phone of 2020 because I just love the Z Flip so much. I couldn't say that this was the best phone for everybody, and it's clearly not the best phone when you look at metrics across the board, but I really love this phone. It's my favorite phone of 2020. But I think the OnePlus 8T is the best phone. And just for some info, I've got a OnePlus 8 Pro that is being sent to me. So hopefully it'll be here this week. It was impacted by the weather this last week, so I wasn't able to get here. But I've got a OnePlus 8 Pro coming. I'm really, really looking forward to covering that because I wanted one so badly this year, and like T-Mobile didn't even carry one in the stores. So yeah, and my name's on the list. I should be getting a OnePlus 9 or 9 Pro whenever those come out. So I talked to them about that. I mean, I don't have one. There's no specifics, no information. But I was like, I work with them, and I'm like, hey, put my name down on the list. And they're like, okay, cool. We'll get back with you. So it seems like that might be like a imminent release around March. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm looking forward to it. I really like having the keyboard on the bottom screen and Outlook on the top. Yeah, there's a lot of cool ways that you can use the Duo. They just need to find a way to speed it up, and they need to find a way to get everything streamlined. It needs a better camera experience. It needs better speakers. It needs better screens. It needs better battery life. I mean, there's a lot of things that it needs, but I like what they did. Like the concept is there. I think they've demonstrated that it can work. I think for the right people, it can work. But at the same point in time, yeah, that one is just, it's not quite there yet. And yeah, and also we've got 57 people in here right now. So I thank you all for being here tonight. And we've got 23 likes. So there's probably some room there. If y'all are enjoying the chat, then please feel free to hit the like button. And then if you're new here and you've never been here before and you're not a subscriber, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to get updates on new videos as they have them come out, because I make pretty much daily videos. I think it's probably safe to say that now. And of course, there's channel memberships, and super chats are always appreciated, although of course none of that is required at all. This is free. You can come here, hang out, and listen and talk all you want. 8T is a little chubby compared to the 8. I really love the form factor on the 8. The thing that got me with the 8 was the battery life. I was disappointed with. Surprise. I complain about the battery life on like every phone. I kill phones so fast. Yeah. So I just do. I abuse the battery so much. So I am not like the normal use case scenario, but like if I'm getting like 3 hours of screen on time, a normal person is probably getting like 5. Probably not that much, but I really burn through them. But the 8 battery life was very poor for me, and also the cameras were they were not that great. They were marginally improved, I think, even if by software on the 8T. I think the 8T is an overall better phone than the 8. Like I would not say the 8 is the phone of the year. The 8T totally. And there was a lot of people that were saying that the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE was phone of the year, but I think that a lot of people still had some hangups with the software and some other issues that it was having. Like, I hang my hat on the 8T, but you really can't go wrong if you've got the 8T or the S20 FE, because they're both really good phones at really good prices and lots of ways to get them, especially the FE. Like, they were basically, you could trade in like a BlackBerry Q10 and get an S20 FE for free. Like, Samsung was really trying to get those out into people's pockets. Gnosis, no, there's no word on the BlackBerry 5G yet. I'm really hoping, like, they talk about like signs of things that are going to happen. And it's like, if you see a woman who's obviously pregnant, it looks like, yes, she's probably going to have the baby soon. If you look at the signs of what's going on, excuse me. If you look at the signs of what's going on with BlackBerry right now, so they hired the vice president for international sales. They hired the vice president for government contracts, and then they came out in an interview and said that they're working on their distribution plan. If you look at those different things, you got to have a sales plan and you got to have sales outlets and a distribution plan to get this stuff out. So my guess is that they're probably still on target to get this phone out by the end of June. Now, that's what they've said they're going to do. I hope that they are. I don't have any inside information on this whatsoever. Zero, none, zilch. I have all the things to go off of that you do. So I'm hoping that we'll hear something maybe in the next 4 to 6 weeks. And I really think that we'll have to at that point. Like, if this thing doesn't get to the FCC by like May, then yeah, there will be some serious concerns, because typically by the time it gets to the FCC, it's at least a month before there's an announcement. And this is just going off of my personal experience from previous history. So if we don't start hearing or seeing things by April, then I would say, you know, something's rotten in Denmark. Like 2 and 2 is not equaling 4. I think at that point it would be hard to still stand on the hill and say that this thing's going to be ready by the end of June. Oh, and Kyle, thanks a lot, buddy. And you don't have to do that. I know you've done this 2 weeks in a row. I am very, very appreciative of the super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. I do. But thank you. But totally don't have to do that. But I'll go ahead and let me see. What do you got here? Do you think Google will release a foldable by the end of the year like recent leaks suggest? I think so. There was originally some rumor a while back where people had talked about the Google folding phone, like maybe would be available in the spring, but that turned out to be fake. That was fake. But you know, where there's smoke, there's fire, and clearly this is the direction that a lot of manufacturers in the market are going. So I kind of think that there's a lot of truth to this. I think that we probably will see a foldable Pixel. Do I think it will be out by the end of the year? Maybe. And they really, I think, are trying to get their Pixel 5a out earlier. Like last year, the Pixel 4a was supposed to be out around April, I think, originally. And that didn't happen because coronavirus. Like everything got messed up. So that ended up coming out around July, if I remember correctly. So I think that we're going to see the Pixel 5a probably around probably around April or early May. And then I think we'll see the Pixel 6 around like September, October-ish. You know, it'll be later in the year. If there is a roadmap for this foldable Pixel phone, I think that it won't be until the end of the year, or I think it would be the beginning of next year. And part of me thinks that the beginning of next year may be smarter, just because there's not as large of an audience when it comes to Pixel devices. And you know, of course, if you're a Pixel fan, you don't want to hear that. And of course, this is just my own personal opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't have a crystal ball, but when you look at the roadmap of devices coming out, and this foldable is not going to be for everybody. So if they're going to have one, I would probably think that we'll see it maybe around, it'll either be in the fall or it'll be early next year. But if they release it early next year, it won't compete with their other release cycles, and clearly it's not going to be available in the near future. So I think that is very possible, and I think it's just as likely to come out by the end of the year as it is the beginning of next year, just as far as like a readiness thing. But I haven't looked too much into the rumors. If there are dates floating out there, that's probably more accurate than what I'm telling you. I'm just going off of my own intuition. Story to man. I am using the OnePlus 8. Hey, OnePlus 8 is a great phone. It probably had my favorite form factor of 2020. Like, I loved holding that phone. It was so sleek, and it's such a well-built device. Like, it feels really nice. I really liked OnePlus 8. Customizable backs and covers. Oh yeah, that was cool. So like Rami Manuel, if you look at the phone that did that the best, in my opinion, was the Moto X 2014. And you remember you could order it from their website with the different customizable backs on it. I really like that. I would like to see more companies do that. But it's like there's such a turntable of phones that come out nowadays. It feels like by time one phone has hit the market, like they already moved on to the next one. It's like there's not a whole lot of tertiary support for that stuff, and you just don't see a lot of grassroots manufacturer level things like that. But yeah, I think if a company could come out and like find a way to make some cool things like that, you just never know. And also the landscape has changed a lot too, because back then, like the leather backs, the customizable backs, the wooden backs. Like I remember on my Motorola Z, yeah, it had this really cool wooden back on it with like little magnetic things to hold it in place. I really loved that. So it just all depends. Homebrew GT, I kill phones fast too. That's why I love the Moto G Power. Yeah, Moto G Power is hard to kill. There's a lot of serious juice in that battery. Also love the OnePlus 8T. Yes, Jun, great phone. Totally love it. Let me see. Hey, Carl, thanks for being here tonight. Ron Manuel, hoping the future phones don't all stop having headphone jacks. Yeah, I have a lot of mixed feelings about that. I used to have a lot more hurt feelings when they wouldn't have them, but now I'm to the point where it's more convenient for me to have a set of Bluetooth headphones or headphones or earphones that, like, if I want to do some serious listening, it's really nice to have the wired sets. But with a lot of stuff like aptX HD and LDAC and all sorts of other codecs that they have available out there for, I guess, lossy or lossless audio, and the compression for getting that right. And also you look at like Spotify coming with their hi-fi service later this year. I really think that a couple years ago when they started taking the headphone jacks out, they were way ahead of the power curve. Like they were really... That was a move that Apple did to try and force people to buy their AirPods. They're like, hey, we're taking out the headphone jack. By the way, we'll sell you these really good earbuds that we make that are way overpriced. And then, of course, Samsung followed suit, and a lot of other manufacturers have as well, because it's acceptable. They can do it without really getting any flack. And there's such wide availability of cheap earbuds at this point that I think a lot of people care more about the convenience than the additional quality in the audio, and likely they're not listening to FLAC and hi-fi audio anyway. So I think that moving forward, I think that we're finally at a place where it's okay to cut the cord on the headphone jack, especially since you can still get 24-bit audio, maybe even 32-bit if somebody really makes a good dongle for the conversion out of the USB-C. Like a lot of these phones that ditch them, if you look at the Galaxy series phones, if you look at the LG phones, they still do 24-bit DAC. So you can still get a really good listening experience that way. And if somebody's listening to something at like studio level, they're not listening to it on their iPhone. So I think now is really a very fair point in time to ditch them. But I think it depends on the phone too. Like in a BlackBerry, I really think we should still have a headphone jack. There's a lot of people that still have regular wired headphones or earphones that go into them, or even using the earbuds that came with the BlackBerry Mobile and BlackBerry devices. They were really good for talking on the phone. So I think if you look at it from a productivity standpoint, I think it still needs to have a headphone jack, at least for another couple of years, till the transition is more ingrained out in the mass market. But as far as like an iPhone or a Samsung, I'm not as heartburned about it as I was in the past. Oh, cool, Mr. THEX Chemist. Thanks for watching tonight. Want to get an Android phone for mom, budget $400 USD. She currently uses a Samsung A70. I would say the A71 5G. Like, if she's already got an A70, the A71 5G is a fantastic phone. If not the A71 5G, I would say get a Pixel 4a. The Pixel 4a is such a good phone, and it does amazing things, has amazing camera. Or if you want something with a little bit more oomph and a larger screen, and want to spend a couple extra bucks, or look around and see if you got any trade-in deals, the Pixel 4a, the 4a5, Pixel 4a 5G, yeah. The 4a 5G is a good phone. Do you think BlackBerry should have a heavy BB10 style skin on the new device? I've thought about that from a couple different perspectives. I would really like to see a BlackBerry 10 skin, because I think that would be a nice homage to BlackBerry 10 itself. I think that if they can incorporate the swipe gestures, of course, and make it functional and like BlackBerry 10, I think that would make people happy. But then at the same point in time, I think that might kind of make people mad, because there are so many people that love BlackBerry 10 and don't want an Android BlackBerry. Like, they just don't. All the time, I get people who are like, if it's Android, I'm not buying it. I'm like, well, it is. And they've already said that it is, so that's not a really disputable point. But I think if you write it off and haven't even seen the phone yet and are not willing to give it an opportunity, you're really missing out. And then on top of that, with BlackBerry 10 being end of life in less than a year, where are you going to go? Like, if you are adamant about not getting a BlackBerry that's running Android, well, your only options in a couple of months are only going to be Android or BlackBerry. And if you look at what AT&T is doing, they're already cutting people off who are using BlackBerry 10 phones. And T-Mobile, it looks like that might be a little bit further down the road. But that argument held a lot more water a few more years ago. But at this point, like, look, BlackBerry 10 will cease to exist as a usable phone So, like, what are you going to do? Just not use a phone anymore? So I say wait and see what happens with this phone, and then make a decision. You know, if you want to get that or you want to get a different phone. But the reality is you're basically stuck with Android or Apple as far as a mainstream solution here in the next less than a year. Let me see. I'm on the Pixel 3a XL right now, waiting for the BB5G. Yeah, the Pixel 3a XL is a really good phone. They did a great job with that device. I liked it a lot. A lot of foundational stuff that they really did there for the 4A, and I've seen some of the rumor and leaked stuff on the Pixel 5a. So I really like what they do with that A series, the A series lineup. It's very good. Just a random user found this live stream. Hey, well, hopefully you're enjoying it, MFS, and hopefully you're having a good time. I do this every Sunday night, as long as there's not a natural disaster trying to kill me or like the Super Bowl. I try to do this every Sunday at 7:30 Central Standard Time. I heard BlackBerry will not be involved in the software, so I don't think that will happen. If it's Android 12 pure and easy, won't complain. Homebrew GT. So my understanding is that BlackBerry is still going to control the software, just like they did with the previous licensing agreement. And just because, look, there's no way Onward Mobility has such a small footprint, they're not going to be controlling and managing the software and the updates. I believe that's still going to come directly from BlackBerry, and that's one of the reasons, because of that control, how they keep it so secure. So I'm fairly certain BlackBerry is going to be very involved with the software. As far as overlays, I'd really like to see them dial it back. My preference is go stock. If you can't make it good, if you can't make it maybe like BlackBerry 10 and make it look a little bit that way, maybe an icon pack and some stuff. I was just saying this the other day, like, if I open up this new BlackBerry and it's got the Priv background on it still, like, I'm going to smash it. Like, I can't deal with this anymore. They need to have some progression in that department. Like, yes, make a new phone, get us a new keyboard. Do not put the Priv background on there. Like, this has been dragged out for too long. I was going to do a comparison on an upcoming video with S21 Ultra versus the V60. Yeah, the V60 is such a good phone. I love that phone. Really good. Asus ROG phones and their gaming laptops are on another level. Yeah, so I'm really, really looking forward to this new Asus phone. Like, I would really love to get my hands on one, but I don't know their PR people, and I've not been able to reach out to them. But at some point in time, I would like to establish a relationship with that brand, because I do like, as unnecessary as I think their phones are, because what is a gaming phone? I mean, the S21 Ultra is an amazing gaming phone. You don't need to go out and buy an Asus phone to get top-level gaming, but they do some pretty cool stuff. So I would really love to get my hands on one at some point, because I have not had one. Not the regular one, not the 2 or the 3. I did have a Razer phone and a Razer Phone 2, and I like those a lot. For reasons that they did some things well, but largely the mainstream flagships are top-notch gaming phones, so you don't really need it. Let me see. I guess. Oh yeah. So Steven, yes, I am interested in it. I am going to try and reach out to them if I can find them, but yeah, that's basically my thoughts on it. Is there a phone where you don't ever need a screen protector? You basically need a screen protector on any phone nowadays, because they'll break. I mean, if you drop them, they'll break, they'll get scratched, all that good stuff. So I pretty much recommend every phone having a screen protector. And wow, we've already hit an hour, an hour and 3 minutes. So I'm gonna get ready to wrap up here. I've just been talking so much, I wasn't expecting to get to the hour mark already, and I gotta go make a video for tomorrow. I gotta start recording. So yeah, if you have any I guess last minute questions, I'll look here real quick. But also, we still got 51 people in here. So before you head out the door, make sure you hit the like button. And if you're new here, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, and if you'd like to, then go ahead and subscribe. And also the channel memberships are available as well. And we'll have the monthly channel member live stream coming up in about another week or so. So that's also something exciting too. And sorry to hear that, Julian. I would definitely say that, yeah, put screen protectors on them. I'll answer this real quick. Homebrew. What features from the BlackBerry 10 What I like to see on the BlackBerry 5G, I want the tool belt. I want the tool belt. I want the trackpad. I would really like to see that. I think that that would be helpful. And what I ultimately want is I want to be able to hit enter on the keyboard when I'm typing and it actually send the message. It drives me absolutely crazy that on these phones that I have to type a message and then reach up and hit the send button. You cannot hit enter. So they really need to make this new BlackBerry like the old ones where when you hit enter, it sends the message. That would be probably my #1 priority. I would like to see the trackpad though. Trackpad and the tool belt would be really nice. It's really nice just being able to press the button to answer the phone and to hang up and to send and to use the trackpad when you're scrolling and trying to get the cursor different places. I think it would be helpful. Also copying, pasting, things like that, highlighting. What phone? Right now, I'm most looking forward to 2 phones. The new OnePlus phone because it looks really exciting to me, and also the new Z Flip. Whenever the new Z Flip comes out, like I will be sending this Z Flip 5G in and getting that one immediately. I'm really looking forward to that. All right, so I guess we'll go ahead and call it a day. Oh, and thanks also for the additional super chat there, Ram. I appreciate it. And thanks a lot, all you, for hanging out here tonight. Totally appreciate it. Y'all make Sunday night worth it. I like being able to hop on here and to chat with you guys. And I really like to keep this very audience driven. You know, y'all come here. It's an opportunity for y'all to ask questions, bring up stuff that y'all want to talk about, recent news, want my opinion on. So I like being able to sit here. I don't have a script. I loosely have a couple of things that I want to talk about, but mostly this is just time I set aside to hang out with you guys and answer your questions as best as I can. So between now and next Sunday, of course, I'll have the weekly live stream for Wednesday night with my good buddy English Dan, our Unhinged Tech Show. That'll be Wednesday night at 7:30 Central Standard Time. And yeah, between now and then, y'all stay safe, take care, and I hope you have a good week. Make sure you drink plenty of coffee in the morning, grab a donut if you can, and hopefully the week is kind to you and not too terrible when the alarm clock goes off in the morning. So I'm going to go ahead and retire for the evening, maybe play a little bit of Warzone, and I've got to get the video finished for tomorrow. So there will be a video in the morning, and y'all can look forward to that. Hopefully you enjoy it. So appreciate it, guys. Y'all stay safe, have a good week, and I'll see y'all next time. And make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Bye.